What is an attribute or quality someone should master to become financially savvy?
Wow, that's a loaded question. I don't think it's just one thing. I
Okay.
think I am an advocate. Let me say it like this: we learn two ways, either mistakes or mentors.
View what the bosses view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association.
Welcome to the YMA Nation podcast, episode number 53, Wealth Building Monday. And I have a special guest on, Miss Chiffon Foster, Dr. Chiffon Foster. How are you doing this evening?
I am well. How are you doing?
I am doing good, guys. So if you're on right now, make sure you like, comment, and click the subscribe button. Subscribe. We are on our way to 2,000 subscribers. If we hit 2,000 and when we hit 2,000 by the end of the month, we are going to do our cash giveaway for $2,000. We're going to choose 15 winners, and they're going to win $100 each. And we're going to choose a grand prize winner who's going to win $500 for a total of $2,000. So if you're on during the episode, I am going to give you guys a keyword. In that keyword down in the comment section, all you have to do is click the link. It'll take you to the website, and you put in the keyword, and you'll have the chance to be entered to win $2,000. Also, make sure you hashtag YMANation down in the comment section, and that'll be an extra chance to go into the drawing. And lastly, if you go on our YouTube, our Facebook page, Facebook YMANation on Facebook, every episode 51, 52, 53, all throughout March, every episode is released on our Facebook page. So share the video on Facebook. If you have an account on Facebook, make sure you share the video on Facebook. Every share, your name goes in the drawing. If you like the post on Facebook, your name goes in the drawing. If you hashtag YMANation in the comment section, your name goes in the drawing. So every episode, there's 3 chances just on Facebook to go into the drawing. So that's a lot of information, right, Miss Chiffon?
It's a lot, but I think they got it. I know
they got it. I think they got it. So guys,
it.
I am ready to get into this. This is going to be a very interesting interview. And I've known Dr. Chiffon Foster for years now, so I know this is going to be a great interview. So let's start off. Tell us about you and your purpose, because the purpose, the title is Purpose, the secret weapon to wealth.
The secret weapon to wealth, absolutely.
The secret weapon
I love it.
to wealth, purpose. So tell us about you and your purpose.
Well, my name is Chiffon Foster, and first I want to thank you so much for trusting me and sharing your platform and your sphere of influence with me. It is absolutely an honor to be able to come and share with your people, with your community.
Thank you.
I'm just a young lady that worked in corporate America for about 20 years. October 2019, I left corporate America, and I've always had multiple streams of income. I've always had several businesses when I worked my 9 to 5. But, the politics of corporate America and the things that you have to go through, I was just fed up. And I realized that I love what I did, which is the same thing I'm doing now, but I'm doing it on my purpose. But I could not stand, for me and my journey, going into an office that was toxic, that was abusive. And so I realized through prayer and just talking to my own coaches and mentors, I had to get clear on my purpose. And when I got clear, Joseph, on my purpose, everything changed. My tax bracket changed. Working with your company, my personal credit and my business credit, you already know the back end story of that. Yes,
our company.
Your company got me together, and it changed. And being connected to your company just helped me to even more fulfill my purpose. So my purpose is simply to help other people discover their purpose and destiny. But the way that I do it is very unique. I use business strategy, life coaching, mentoring. I do different things as far as models for success. And so, in essence, my job is to help other people clarify their purpose, embrace their purpose, and then move in their purpose to fulfillment. Because what I realized, Joseph, in purpose and how it's linked to wealth, I'm a foodie, right? And I love to cook. I'm pretty good at it, right?
Okay.
Even during the pandemic, I got my little pandemic 15 pounds, 20 pounds. But here's the deal. Even though I'm a foodie and I love to cook and I'm pretty good at it, that's not my purpose.
Right.
So if I was to go out and let's just say because of my business credit, I was to go out and to buy a restaurant or even to partner with someone, for me, it doesn't align with my purpose. So I probably would have some success because when you're good at what you do, you're going to get some success.
Right.
But you just don't want some success. You want ultimate success. And so what I realized is I get total gratification and satisfaction in helping other people get clear. And guess what? It has taken me years to get clear on my purpose. But once I got clear on my purpose, everything changed. My circle changed, got smaller.
Always, right? I don't know. Yeah, that's
Listen,
always the fact.
it is
right?
what it is. You know, the next level, updating and upgrading my skills. And so I have total passion for helping people just like yourself obtain wealth. But from my perspective, because it aligns with my purpose, I deal with life wealth. I deal with social wealth, mental, spiritual, and of course, financial wealth. And with all of that, then it aligns with what I've been called to do. And then the wealth, I don't have to go looking for it anymore. I don't have to, and don't want to offend anyone, but I'm not grinding anymore. I don't grind. I don't hustle anymore. And for those who use those terms, that is absolutely fine. You know what I do? I do purpose every day.
Right.
That's it. I do purpose every day. And as I'm doing purpose, the wealth comes to me. The collaborations and the partnerships come to me. I don't have to go looking
Wow.
for them anymore because I'm aligned now. And that's what I believe my purpose is simply to help other people in a very unique way discover their purpose.
It's interesting that you say that and how you use that word align because I agree. Once you are, and I call it in your light, because
Okay.
how you started off saying like you through prayer. So once you feel that your prayers are being brought to fruition and you're in your light, like wow, like things are just coming, things are going right for me continuously. Like this is like blessings. This is
Right.
blessings. This
Right.
is what it feels like. You are in your light. That means that you are aligned to your calling. So I couldn't
Absolutely.
agree with you
Absolutely.
more.
Absolutely. I love it.
And I want to point out something else that you said earlier when
Okay.
you said, you know what, I make a cook good, but by me going to partner with someone or to open the next Zaxby's or whatever the case is, it may not be my purpose. So I may do it and may be good at it. I may make money from it, but I won't maximize my potential and gain everything that I'm meant to gain in life because it's not my purpose. And I think that's important because people need to try to understand their purpose at an early age because we only have a small amount of time here on this earth. So
Right.
the sooner you could find your purpose and start executing on bringing that purpose to life, then the faster you start seeing things in your life at an early age. Like, wow, like I would have loved at the age of 18, 19 years old to have the information that I
Right.
have now.
Right.
But
Right.
you know, back in our days, there was no such thing as the internet, right?
Correct. Correct.
Or you may get the dial up, the
The famous dial up.
AOL.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But they have like these kids nowadays, or this generation nowadays, have access to almost everything that they need at the touch of their fingers.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's important that they find their purpose at an early age. And then by the time they're 30 years old, 40 years old, like these kids could be like at their retirement stage by having
Absolutely.
so much information and wealth.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct.
What do you feel is the greatest challenge to someone that's trying to find that purpose?
Discipline. One of the things, and I have to go back to your company because it's such a prime example. When I connected with your company years ago, one of the things I had to understand was being disciplined concerning the process and the journey, right? And so I'm right with you, Joseph. Had I known half of what I know now, then I probably at this age would have been retired because I would have access. I'm serious. I would have had
I agree.
access to the tools, the models and the formulas and the systems that we needed. So going back to your question, discipline is a major factor. When I was working with your company, I had to make sure that I learned this two words that a lot of people don't utilize, but I leverage it. It's called delayed gratification.
Okay.
Delayed gratification. So I had to discipline myself and be consistent and look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture was good personal credit and positioning myself for good business credit, right? And
Right.
so through my discipline and consistency, was it a long journey? Absolutely. But has it been worth it? Absolutely. To be able to go
Gonna give you a
anywhere.
round of applause.
Listen, I'm telling you, to be able, and I shared with you when I just purchased my car, my new car, it was last year, to be able to go into a dealership and them not hit or ding my credit 10 times to get financing, that took discipline. It took consistency. For me to be able to leverage my credit score, business credit, personal credit, and or cash, that took discipline. And that is the one thing that I believe sometimes our millennials sometimes don't get. They are the most creative. They are the most innovative young people I've ever seen. But we got to get back to some of the core values. And one of those core values is the discipline and the consistency. And as I've stayed consistent with my purpose, as I've continued to walk in my light, as you call it, as I continue to make sure I'm aligned and I've done everything that I've needed to do, once again, it's the law of attraction. And I believe favor, and here's a key, favor is released to the prepared. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. You know,
I
we
may
talk
steal
about
that.
favor.
You okay with that?
Yeah,
If I steal that?
you can have that. You can have that. Favor is released to the prepared.
Okay.
Like you, I would have been retired at this stage. But even in that, I believe that my timelines and my deadlines, because I submitted them to the creator. And I'm not trying to get real spiritual on this
No, go
platform.
ahead. Definitely go ahead.
But because I submitted my goals and my dreams and my timelines and my deadlines to the creator, and in those times where I wasn't getting the phone calls, in those times where I didn't have the clients, I stayed disciplined. I stayed consistent. And so now, because of that discipline, because of that consistency, I have options. I can pick and choose my clients. I can pick and choose what I want my fees to be when I go back to corporate America and they hire me for different type of trainings. But had I not stayed the course and gotten everything that I needed to get while I was in corporate America. So this is what we don't teach people. When you're working that 9 to 5, and hopefully I can go in this direction, when you're working that 9 to 5, they're using you to promote their vision. I don't have a problem with that. But I, in turn, am going to leverage that system and get every certification I need. I'm going to grow my resume. I'm going to network within that company because I understand what it feels like to wake up every morning and love what you do, but hate the place that you do it. So I had to get smart and I had to say, I'm making good money. I have good benefits. One day, this job is going to divorce me. we're going to go through a divorce. Whether I divorce them first or they divorce me, at some point we're going to divorce because this is not my final destination on
Right.
this journey called purpose. But before we get the divorce, I'm going to suck dry everything that they have to offer. So now when I go back into corporate America and do business strategy and do consulting, the certifications that I had to get in order to teach and train for that particular job, I was able to take with me.
Right.
So
Definitely.
now I'm able to go and live the life I want to live. If I don't want to work the entire week, I don't have to. That's the blessing in the discipline and consistency. If I want to take this laptop and go to Cabos, all I need is a Wi-Fi connection to do what I do.
I hear that.
And I
I tell you,
love that.
I know. I just got back. Actually, I was traveling. But my sister-in-law, she put together a surprise birthday party for my brother. And me and my wife just dropped everything that we was doing. We said we're going to Miami.
Love it.
And we just took 4 days off, but those 4 days off wasn't just like days off where we just like kick back in the sun, but
Right.
we have our laptops there, we have our cell phones there, and at the same time we took a day off, and then we worked half a day, then took the half of the day at the end of the day off, had dinner, shopping, and then the following day worked half the day, and then took the day the evening off, but had been able to have that flexibility to even be able to live that lifestyle to say, no, I don't have to go into an office and work for someone. And not saying that it's not meant for everybody, because everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Everybody can't be a business owner, right?
Correct.
Right. So you have to have employees too. But if you feel that you are meant and there's a fire in you telling you that I know I'm meant for more, you
Right.
have to find your purpose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
And that's what it's all
And
about.
definitely. That's good. And I would also, to allude to your point earlier, is maximize on everything that you can gain. When I was in
Yes.
corporate America and they had classes for Six Sigma 1 and 2, I'm taking those classes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. And as a veteran of the U.S. Navy, when I was in serving my time, I was taking every course that I could, whether it related to my field or not. I was getting coxswain, expert coxswain,
Right.
helicopter landing officer. That, oh well, this only for E1 through E6 is not. No, this is only for officers and not
Mhm.
for E1 through E6s. And my captain approved it. And I was going to take classes for officers. I was getting qualified in everything.
I know that's
But
right.
when you go up for promotion and they see everything that you're qualified in, it sets you apart from everyone
Absolutely.
else.
Absolutely. You got that right. Yes.
Next question for you. This is,
All right.
I knew this was going to be such a powerful interview. I feel real good about this one.
I'm
So
glad.
thank you again. So, question: what is an attribute or quality someone should master to become financially savvy?
Wow, that's a loaded question. I don't think it's just one thing. I
Okay.
think I am an advocate. Let me say it like this: we learn two ways, either mistakes or mentors.
Right.
Either mistakes or mentors. So one of the things, even at this stage of my financial life, my professional life, I have coaches and mentors such as yourself. And so
Yes,
one of the things
definitely.
I am a true believer in coaching. I'm a true believer in mentorship because I believe where we are as we are moving, coming sort of out of COVID-19, and so people are trying to figure life out. I believe it is important that we have people who are already at the level we're trying to get to. Those are our coaches and those are mentors. Because
Right.
one of the wonderful things about a good coach and a good mentor, they can literally save you tons of money and save you tons of time if you have a good coach or mentor, because we're there to help shave off the process, to help lengthen, shorten that learning curve for you, right? And
Yes.
so one of the greatest things I could say, Joseph, is get you a good mentor. And Joseph, I spent more money probably in the last 24 months, guess what? Not on marketing and branding. I spent more money on investing in my purpose,
Mm.
which meant I had to go to some conferences, sit at the feet of some millionaires, some multimillionaires, and we know on the back end that's not cheap. But here is what happens when I believe in me, and when I bet on me and bet on purpose and bet on destiny, and I sit at the feet of people that are where I desire to be, I don't have to wait till 5, 10 years in the game. A good mentor will shut that down and say, this is what you do, this is what you
Right.
don't do. And so one of the greatest things is get yourself a coach and mentor. And if I can say this, stop being cheap. Stop being cheap with your purpose. We spend money, tons of money, on looking rich, and
Mm.
we're actually broke.
Yes.
So why not take that same financial investment that we do in trying to impress other people who are really not paying attention to us, and we take that same investment and we invest it in a good coach and a good mentor, because once again, they will save us thousands of dollars and shave years off the journey and off the process time.
I have a story for you, and this will be quick.
Okay.
In 2004, I was starting a publication, and I mean, I was going all out for it. I said, "Oh, this gonna be big." So I had people that was paying for ads inside the publication,
Mhm.
and I put out $12,000. I think my first print was 10,000 copies, and I printed out 10,000 copies and spent around $12,000 on it. And when it came to me, because they sent me a proof, so I'm just learning too, right?
Right.
So they sent me a proof, and they said it had the borders on it. It was called the bleed areas. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, it looks good. I approved it. And when they shipped it to me, all the pages was cut off around the
Right.
edges. And I was like, oh my God, like these people pay for their ads. I can't put this out. I
Yeah.
can't put this out. But if I would have knew, if someone would have told me, hey, on your bleed order, make sure you leave a 1/4 of an inch space outside the bleed.
Mhm.
That would have saved me $12,000.
Yeah.
And possibly like that could have been like disastrous, because for some people that first investment is going to be either it's going to be that win or lose opportunity for you.
Correct. We all, Joseph, have those war stories and those scars. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm a published author, and I can honestly tell you on this platform, I have 12 or 13 published books. My first 10 books, although they are good material, good content, it wasn't until my 11th and 12th book that I myself, because I'm not only a published author, I do editing for other people, but I had to get my own writing coach. That
Wow.
11th and 12th book, when I tell you, as far as numbers, as far as sales, far exceeded the first 10 books, although those books I believe had good content. And as I go back and reread those books, I'm like, I'm not even there anymore. I'm such on a higher level. But once again, at that time, I just had information in me and wisdom in me, just like yourself, and I put it out there. And I thought I was doing the right thing. But the other thing
Right.
about purpose, Joseph, that I understand, purpose is connected to timing.
Mm.
Purpose is also connected to audience. And so over the 20 years of doing what I've done, my audience has changed. And so as my audience has evolved, I've had to evolve as a business owner, as a business strategist. So the thing about purpose and timing, and sometimes those books that I released, good content, wrong season. Good content, wrong audience. So once again, it did not get the drive behind it. It did not get the sales behind it because either I was targeting the wrong audience or it was the wrong season. So when you think about purpose and wealth, wrapped up in purpose is understanding our timing. Wrapped up in purpose is understanding our audience. Because if my audience, which now my audience is a lot of millennials, a lot of athletes, CEOs, behind the scenes, COOs, that's changed. So when I go before them, I have to adapt. We have to have adaptability and flexibility, even in how we look.
Wow.
Selah.
That is so good. Yes. I said that in the previous episode too about being able to adapt.
So now I'm with millennials, so I'm dressed for the occasion, but I would never wear this at a presentation. I did a presentation for PayPal. I was in my blazer. I had different type of makeup on. I had different type of frames on because I understand my audience.
Right.
And as our audience evolves, we have to learn to evolve. You can call it being a sellout if you want to. I'll take that. But guess what? They paid that invoice. I had no problem with my invoices being paid. Because I understand now that as I go into different spaces and as I go into different audiences and different environments, I have to almost remake myself or reinvent myself. And it has nothing to do with being a sellout, because I hear that a lot. It has nothing to do with being a sellout, but it has everything to do with understanding purpose. And sometimes purpose says my personality has to shift. My core beliefs and who I am as a person is solid. That never changes. But when I go into different spaces and I study my craft, another key, I study my industry. I study my audience. And based on that, I adapt myself. I integrate myself so I can receive my audience, because one of the greatest compliments, Joseph, I believe, and you know this as a business strategist yourself, is repeat customers.
Yes.
So I learned how to, like I said, remain flexible. I learned how to not get stuck in my own personality.
That's interesting.
Go ahead.
That's interesting. And not to cut you off, but I want to give everyone a keyword. The keyword is prosper. PROSPER, prosper. So make sure you go down in the comment section and you will see the link. And just click the link. It'll take you to the website and you put in that keyword and you will be entered for your opportunity to win part of the $2,000 drawing. And you are just putting out so much information that I have to like go back and touch on certain things.
Okay.
Timing. I always stress on time and how important time is. And when it comes to finding your purpose, when it comes to that time, because you see so many people try to chase but what they feel is the hottest thing at the time.
Yes.
But it's not their purpose.
Correct.
So they spend a year, 2 years trying to make something work that's not meant for them because they see it works for someone else.
Right.
If they would have concentrated that time in their purpose, they would have been 2 years ahead of where they would be, instead of putting that time into some place or business or venture or whatever it is that's just not meant for them.
Absolutely. I think, Joseph, sometimes we get so caught up in, now I'm all for being inspired by another person.
Yes.
I'm all for not having to always reinvent the wheel. But at the same time, there are times, Joseph, when we are the template. We are the rubric. We are the example, right? And so the way that they dress, the way that they communicate, the way that they articulate, the way that they present does not fit me. So that's why I have to go back to personality and
Right.
understanding that I have to know who I am. And once again, that audience. And so going back to what you said concerning timing, we have to understand it. Just like there are 4 seasons in the natural, I believe that there are 4 cycles to business. It could be the same cycle with relationships. It could be the same cycles in economy. That goes back to timing. So we have to know when it's time just to hone in on our education and upgrading. We have to know when it's time to release. One of the things that the pandemic, and I told my clients this, and I made them do this. I said, during this pandemic where everything is slow and we have all taken a pause, if you will, this is a time to create. This is a time
Mm.
to innovate. And I did was I took that same medicine I gave them, that same simple formula I gave them. And Joseph, I have enough content for the remainder of the year. I'm already in 2022, 2023, because that's what good
Mm.
leadership does.
Yes.
We go into the future, take a landscape of the different patterns and the different cycles that's taken place, and we come out of the future back into the present, back into the now, and we pull our people, we pull our community, we pull our clients to where they should be, because guess what? We've already been there. So I would never
Wow.
commit to leadership that was not already in my future.
That is
I'm,
that
I'm-
is so deep. That is
yes,
so deep.
yeah, because listen, if you're trying to take me to a place that you've never been before yourself, you're not my mentor, you're my colleague, because we're trying to get to the same place.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with colleagues. You're my
Right.
colleague. But I'm sure that there are people that you submit to get wisdom, to get understanding, to get training. So when it's
Definitely.
time for you to come back for your clients, you've already been where they're trying to go. I don't need somebody that's on my level to get me anywhere. We're colleagues. And so then I begin to invest in the next level leadership, the next level coaching, the next level mentoring, because they already are where I'm trying to get to. Timing.
Timing. And you also made a point earlier about putting yourself around the right people, whether you're paying for it, attending a conference, but being around, once you put yourself around successful people, you'll
Oh,
meet more successful people.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and it could be anywhere. I was just at a surprise birthday party, and just like being around millionaires and having conversations, and it just opened up opportunities. Like, okay, yeah. So what do you who do? Oh, I do this. Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Well, let's exchange phone numbers,
And that's how it
and
starts. That's
and
how it
that's how it
starts.
starts. New opportunities.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it can be when I wasn't at this place, what I used to do about 5 years ago is I live in Dallas. And so I would go to an area of town, what is called Uptown. And
Okay.
Uptown is the place where it's Uptown. And so I would go to this particular restaurant at lunch and I would just sit. And millionaires would be in there, billionaires would be in there. And I would just sit. What you said, environments are important. And I would overhear conversations about stock tips. And I would
Mm,
overhear conversations about what's the next big trend in IT, in AI, artificial intelligence. And I put myself in those environments because it inspired me and it expanded my world view. We're so committed sometimes and so loyal to a fault, to our own growth, to remaining within a region or remaining within an area code or a zip code or a county. We're so, come on, Joseph. We're so committed to a fault and we never get out of the familiar and expand our thinking, expand our worldview, and challenge our own belief systems, even as it pertains to money.
right.
My parents taught me about having a savings account, a checking account, and paying your bills on time. And those things are important. But the next level of investing and assets and liabilities. I didn't learn about that stuff really until my 30s, and I'm well into my 40s now. And so I'm playing catch up.
Right.
I'm working on retirement right now, but I'm still having to play catch up because I didn't have access to that. But had I put myself in environments of those who were wealthy, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna sting, like we go to the doctor and they about to give us a shot, and putting myself in environments where people didn't look like me.
She said it was going to sting. She said it was going to sting, y'all.
I kind of gave a warning, right? Putting myself in environments where people didn't talk like me.
Right.
Putting myself in environments where they probably didn't even like this brown skinned chocolate girl being there. But guess what? I didn't care because I understand environments are important. So I place myself in those environments. And one of the things that I do is I always come back to my community and give out that information and do the coaching and the training. But I purposefully, intentionally, and I'm presently remaining in environments that causes me to grow and evolve. So really what I'm loyal to, Joseph, is purpose.
Right. Yeah, I think we have to lose that thought. Like you hear someone says, "Oh, like he's trying to sound like a certain way," or no, what the person sounds like is intelligent, and you can't match intelligence to a skin color.
Said, sir.
So that's what we have to lose. Like we have to remove that. To think that if a black person sounds intelligent, then they're sounding like someone else.
Correct.
No, that person just sounds intelligent.
Let's make intelligence a thing.
A thing, right. As it is.
Yes.
Not a label that's attached to something.
Correct.
Or a certain genre, not genre, but a certain race.
Correct.
Right. So it's just being able to going back to what you're saying, when you're in those spaces, I don't see black or white. I see opportunity, knowledge, and I see friendships. Absolutely. And if someone chooses not to befriend me because of my color, then that just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Right. But I'm going to make sure that people understand that I'm here for a purpose and I'm here to try to gain information from you. And it could be mutual because I have a lot of information that someone that makes $5 million a year could possibly gain from me.
Absolutely. Yeah, that reciprocity. It's a law.
Yes. And this is good. I even hate for it to end. I have another question before we end. Actually, I got two questions if you're okay.
I'm good.
Okay. If you could turn back time, back to when you were 20 years old, what would you do differently?
It's going to sting again.
Oh, it's going to sting. Okay.
But I have to be perfectly honest about this because I don't know any other way but to be transparent. I have 2 earned degrees. And because you have worked on my credit, you know how much student loan debt I have on my credit report. We're good and we're leveraging that. What I would do, Joseph, if I knew the way that economy and business in corporate America was going to shift and evolve, I probably would have stopped at that first degree and really focused on skills.
Again, let's go back to, I believe this was the last episode. Man, we're at episode number 53 right now, but we just talked about this and I couldn't agree with you more. And I don't share this with a lot of people because I'm big on education.
I am too. I'm an advocate.
Yes. So I was in the work field before I went back to school at around the age of 30, I believe, around that age. So I was already in management, but I went back to school to get a degree in business. And I got to, after my associates and a few courses after that, I stopped
Yeah.
because I didn't just want a piece of paper to say I have a bachelor's degree. Because after a certain point, I'm just taking a course to learn what I already am doing on a day-to-day basis that I have mastered already.
Yes. Yes. And you know this as well as I know. Man, this is so good. You know this as well as I know that you have people who have master's and doctorate degrees and jobs are offering them $15, $20, $25 an hour. Excuse me, ma'am and sir. And so that's why I said, if I could turn back the hands of time, knowing what I know now as business is evolving, we're in this pandemic, I would probably maybe get an associate's, but I would really focus on skills. I would really
Right.
focus on my skill set. If I could turn back the time with anything, because as we're growing, as corporate America is evolving, as economy, as business and entrepreneurship is evolving, it's about your skills.
Yes. I
That
couldn't
piece of
agree with you
paper
more.
that we have, and I thank God I did honor my parents' request, because old school taught us, go to school, get a job, stay on that job for 20, 30, 40 years, get your watch, get your retirement. That is not where we are right now. And if you look
Right.
at the data, most of the millennials will stay maybe 3 to 4 years and then moving on to something bigger, something better, and where the pay scale and the pay rate is better. That mentality was good for then. It's not necessarily good for now. However, I am an advocate of education. I'm just an advocate of street education, college education, education in forms like this, because you could take one key from this and run with it and make millions. Because sometimes all
Yes.
you need is a solution. All you need is a little bit of direction. And so that's why I said I would probably do my educational journey a little bit different.
Yes. And not so people don't see this and get misconstrued. Depends on your purpose. You may need that
Correct.
degree. You
Absolutely.
may need that degree
Absolutely.
depending
So
on your
that's my
purpose.
journey. That would have been my journey.
Right. So I don't want someone that says I want to be a surgeon, but I don't want to go to college because they said that that's not like
Right.
it's not a requirement or
I
a
need you
a
not.
necessity.
I need you not working on my body if you don't have a paper behind you.
Oh man. Oh, what final advice would you give to the audience that you feel that if they was to implement it in their life, it could change their future financially?
Oh man. Once again, the discipline and consistency, and I'm gonna probably sound like a broken record because I don't have a lot of deep things, because sometimes we make it's so easy, we make it so complicated.
Right.
It's the delayed gratification, it is the consistency, it is the discipline, it's understanding what is my big picture, and finding a good coach or mentor to help you along in the journey, and making sure that you're seeking for clarity concerning your purpose. My purpose, Joseph, never changed, but it got clear throughout the years. So for others on the outside looking in, oh my God, she's on different platforms, she's in different spaces and places.
Right.
It's part of my purpose. I started out one way, but I've evolved into a whole different person that I'm actually loving, and I'm loving my audience. But I had to get clear on my purpose. And you said something, and I'll end on this, that is very, I think, important. The quicker you get to understand your purpose and discover your purpose, or your purpose is revealed to you, the quicker you get to the bag. I don't chase the bag. I chase purpose.
I don't know how many hand claps you got today, Dr. Chiffon Foster.
I don't chase the bag, right? I chase purpose. And
Yes.
attached to purpose, guess what, is the bag. And
Yes.
so if I could tell anyone ending on this, stop chasing the bag. Just come into alignment or come into light with your purpose, and the wealth and the influence, the impact, the partnerships and collaborations are all attached to purpose. but we're chasing the bag, and the bag is going to leave us broke if that's the only thing that we're chasing.
Right. Because you end up again chasing behind something that's outside of what's meant for you.
Absolutely.
And it goes back to that time, because when you finally find your purpose after 5 years or 7 years of chasing behind the wrong thing, now your purpose could be oversaturated now.
Yes. And that's a whole different, that is a whole different show, Joseph, about
I
how
know.
every industry is oversaturated. And if you don't find your secret sauce, you will get lost in the sauce. But that's a whole different broadcast.
It's definitely a whole. It has been a pleasure. It has been an honor. So if anyone wants to get in contact with you, how can they find you?
www.chiffonfoster.com. Email chiffonfoster@gmail.com. And just look me up on Facebook. Google me. It'll sit you where you need to be.
Okay. Good deal. Do you have, how about on social media?
On Instagram, I think I'm up under Chiffon Foster, Dr. Chiffon Foster on Facebook. It will be the same thing.
She is on it, guys. I can tell you she is dedicated to her purpose. I can tell you that from experience, guys. So again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And that key word was prosper. Dr. Chiffon Foster, it has been an honor to have you on.
No, it was an honor. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and I hope everyone that watched this episode gained so much from it. So again, thank you guys. We will see you for Friday football.
View what the boss's view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association. Joe.